الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Welcome for our brother Mustafa El-Amin. Let's receive him.
First of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to be among you, distinguished gentlemen. Most definitely the Supreme Potentate, Supreme Grandmaster, etc. Let me speak this here. I just want to sit. Just in case those brothers couldn't see it, we'll show it to you now. Okay. Brothers that couldn't see this right here. Okay. That's the Sphinx pyramid in Giza. And I was a very young man at the time. That's 1992. I was probably 34 years old, even when I wrote the book. So, by the grace of God, I've been able to grow some. All right? All right. Again, here, this is at Giza. And as you can see, I have on the Fez, right, from Morocco, right?
Absolutely.
City of Fez.
Yes, sir.
And you know, as the first country that recognized the United States independence in 1777, the Islamic country, a Muslim country, was the first to do that, you know? And it's interesting, you know, with the Fez and all, and everything that's going on today. And here you go, brother. I had one when I was on that donkey too. I didn't think that. He was on that camel, right?
Yes, sir.
So you know we go to the camel for a while, right? Well, they had to get off on him at some point. In time to that date tree, right? Something sweet, right? On Ramadan, we eat nothing but dates. That's right. So something sweet, right? And you know, a tree has 3 parts, or 3 steps. So like a flow house or something like that. The branches reaching to the sky, the trunk, and the roots. And it says, don't forget to tie that camel, bro.
Yes, sir.
Right? See, you tie it to that date tree, and then you get off, and you move on with your feet to the shrine.
Yes, sir.
And by the grace of God, in 92, I also went to Mecca to perform the Hajj pilgrimage, which you have to go around it 7 times when you arrive there. So let me just get started here. And I brought this with me. Right? And we hope to show some unity. Because it's not on the altar with the Bible for no reason.
Come on with it.
And you know that they got some ink. You know, and the other lower level, headed by the Pompey Square and the Holy Place.
Oh,
Okay. But when you come upstairs, and you got the Bible and Quran, the New Testament, and the Quran. So you still have 3 great lights.
yes, sir.
Bottom line is you can't get away from that foundation, brother. You got to have a foundation to come on up, right?
That's right.
So those first 3 contain it all.
Yes, sir.
It's like that seed that has everything, right? And it's already compact like the genetics or something, right? DNA. Right? Else comes on up out of that.
Yes, sir.
But you got to have that foundation first. You ain't going from the sky down. What they call the knower and the thinker.
Yeah.
You know, we say physical, mental, spiritual. Or enter the apprentice, fellow craft, or master mason. Whatever 3 you want to, you want to work with, right? So I was up to Matter of fact, 3 o'clock in the morning. Trying to get this together, you know, just so we can hit it and move it, right? So, so this morning I said, and I have to look at the calendar. You know, I'm retired, so you know, none of that means that you just keep going. Today I have to look at the calendar. And when I looked at the calendar, it said 9, 3, 16. I said, well, I guess I might as well talk about the 9.
Come on.
And then 3, 9 is the multiple of 3, right? And then that 1 and 6 and 7. I might touch on 7, but for the most part, we don't have that. Is that all right? All right. Now, and probably can't say enough, Supreme Grand Master, my good friend, local potentate from Salam Temple number 11, most certainly my friend I was Muslim, and all of us are together as one brother. And again, I greet you, Assalamu alaikum, and Salam Temple. Now, there's a few things. One, I would have tried to get here. I was here earlier because I want to write some things down. 9. So let's visit 9, which you know is roll off. Right? So, are you a roll off? I am that I am. Come on, Moses, and talk to me. And say, how do you know yourself to be that? By 3 times 3 under a living arc and over a triangle. Now, if that ain't 9, I don't know what is. But what we want to do, what we want to try to go with this, and it's very serious, is 9 as a mystical number. Because no matter what you do with 9, it comes back with 9.
Yes, sir.
I think you are pretty much aware of that. So we know 1 times 9 equals 9, right?
Yes, sir.
2 times 9 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9, right? We know we can go all the way up to that, right? I'll do a few more. 3. And you know what's interesting? I'm looking this up before I know. And you can go look it up. They say that Jesus died in the 9th hour, from the 6th to 9th. And I went, and in Matthew, that's where it occurred. 27, 2 and 7 is 9. Verse 45.
Come on.
Now, I didn't do that, you didn't do that. I didn't know it was like that until today. You know, you're trying to prep for the brother, right? So, we're going to work with 9, guys. Okay? So, 3 times 9, 27.
Yeah.
4 times 9, 36. And so, with the nobles here, you got it. I'm going to have to go all the way up to 9 times 9. We know what it is, right? 3 plus 6 equals 9. Now, in metaphysics, in history, in religion, 9 is very, 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 very important. And in our life it is. Because the word tri, T-R-I, means 3. You know, Trinity. The camera's on it, and when you want to balance 3, you have to shape it like a triangle. You see that tripod? The 3 legs, but it's shaped like a triangle. You know, that tricicle, which is 3 circles in a triangular form, right? That's the tricicle, right? Well, the doctors tell us that we go through 3 trimesters. A group of 3 months first, right?
Right.
Then another group of 3 months, right? Then another group of 3, which brings us to 9. So 9 is a mysterious number, just like birth is mysterious. That's the connection, right? We can see that, right? I'll move on so we can get to where we got to go. So now, staying here with 9, and I can touch on this now. In Islam, nobles of the mystic shrine, ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine. So we're dealing with some Arabic, little Arabic too, right? The most important month for you all and for us, in terms of you having that knowledge, and for the Muslim, is the 9th month.
That's right.
Ramadan is the 9th month, so we're going to connect with each other. That's what this is about, unity. The shrines and masons, etc. And you may not be Muslim, but you have some knowledge of this. And I feel so welcome and beautiful when I see brothers that have Akbar, Salam, Zamzam, Medina, Mecca. That's my religion. That's what I'm familiar with, right? Salam Temple, etc., right? And our greetings are the same. And you say Allah, and you're traveling across the Arabian sands to worship at the Kaaba, the shrine of Islam, right?
That's right.
So I feel comfortable, and that's how I see it. Whether you're Christian, whatever you are, you have an interest and you have some knowledge of my religion that I worship, and that's what we build upon. And it's very serious. It's very serious. So, what I want to go here is since we're in 9, Ramadan is the 9th month.
Yes.
What happened in that 9th month, which we know is birth? Muhammad, may the prayers and peace be upon him. He was physically born 570 AD in Mecca. He became a prophet. Now 570 puts you in the 6th century. He became a prophet at the age of 40, right? 570, so around 610, he becomes a prophet and messenger of God. And what happened in the 9th month of Ramadan, we hear about the Muslims fasting. We're fasting in the 9th month. And by the way, this is the 9th month, September, right? And so in that 9th month, what happened to him? He was in a cave called Mount Hira, reflecting on the state of his people in the world. This is beautiful, brother. And while he was in there, the angel Gabriel, Jibril, the angel of revelation, while he's in the dark, reflecting, the chamber of reflection, right? The angel comes and he squeezes him. Put that grip on him, brother. But he couldn't do nothing. And by the way, he was born the son of a widow. Muhammad was a widow's son. Just do the history. His mother's name was Amina. His father's name was Abdullah. His father died about 6 months before he was born. So now when he's born, what happened? He's born the son of a widow. See the connection?
Yes, sir.
So he's born the widow's son. Now, then how is he raised? Like the master Hiram Abid. How is he raised? He was a builder. You know the Muslim community that we have? Muhammad the Prophet that we have. He built the mosque in Medina. But not only that, when he was in that cave, think of him as a widow's son, then his mother died. His mother died when he was about 6 years old. He became an orphan. But anyway, he's in the cave, and Jibril comes to him and squeezes him, right? And he says, Ikra. That means read. That's a command, right? And he said, I can't read. Read what? I'm in a cave. There was no book given to him. And then he squeezed him again, brothers. And he said, Ikra. This is a command. He didn't say, can you please read this? He took the book to the man. He said, I can't read it. It's sealed. Look at another people, please read this book. He said, no. And I think the lamb without spot or blemish. They'll take care of it. They'll take care of it. Anyway, so now the third time, he grits him, and he says, read in the name of your Lord. See, he qualified. See, the first was just in a general way. Read. I can't read. Read. I can't read. But he gave him focus, brother. Direction, which is where we turn towards the Kaaba, right? For prayer and everything. That's called Qibla. That's a direction. You have to have a focus in life. And that's how we try to raise our young, right? Listen, don't just be wild everywhere. Try to get a focus in your life. So, the third time, it was the third time, he grabbed him and he squeezed him, brother. And he said, read in the name of your Lord who created you. That's it. Created you from an Allah, the clock that was clean. That's 2. Read in the name of your Lord who was most generous. That's 3. Read in the name of your Lord who taught man the use of the pen. And then the 5th one was taught him what he didn't know before. So now he's raised after being squeezed 3 times, but he's given 5 verses. You got that? He's given, at the beginning, he's given 5 verses. Just like the master was raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular to the square on the 5 points of fellowship.
Come on.
The connection, right? So although he's raised after being squeezed 3 times, he's given 5 verses. And you know what the square is. That's the Kaaba. Now we know perpendicular, that's the simple square, 90 degrees, right? Okay. Because time will fly, and I know I have a limit, so we get a little excited. Alright, so let me try to stay with where I am. We're in this 9, and also the most important day on Hajj. When you go to the shrine, when you go to Kaaba, when you go there for Hajj, the most important day is the 9th day. It's the day of Hajj. It's the day of Arafat. When you go to Hajj, your first day you go around the Kaaba 7 times. And after you go around it 7 times, you go to a place called Maqam Ibrahim, where Abraham stood. Not where he laid down, where he stood. And there's an encasing of his footprint. Okay? And you make 2 rak'ahs of prayer. Then from there, you go perform what is called Sa'i. You go run between the 2 hills of Safa and Marwa, where Hagar, when she was put in the desert, right, and searched for water for her son Ishmael, ran between, so you have to do that, right? You go between that 7 times, right? And then from there, you go to the well of Zamzam. And you drink yourself a little Zamzam water. Which was discovered, according to Islam, by Ishmael, who rubbed his heels in the sand. So here you have something very important, the 2 most important things in Islam. Ramadan is the 9th month, when the Quran began, when the whole thing began. His farewell address, Muhammad's farewell address, was given at Mount Arafat, which means higher knowledge, actually. And the most important day, if you go on Hajj, any of you go on Hajj and you actually go on Hajj, you have to get to Arafat. You have to make that 9th day. If you don't get to Arafat, no matter what else you do, your Hajj is not completed. So it shows you how important that 9 is. So we're going to connect it, right? Now, it says that, as we say, Jesus gave up the ghost in the 9th hour. And it also is believed that he was about 33 when he passed.
Come on.
I think that's at the top, right? 33 in that triangle. Come on. And by the way, hopefully we get to that. We're going to pull out that dollar bill. I was thinking today, I said, that I says a lot. It's in the triangle.
Right.
I said, maybe when we get finished, man, we can have them to take that I out of there and put 33 up there. But that's what it all comes to. 3 times 3 brings it back to 9. And remember, our birth is 9. But that's what this whole 9 is about. A whole lot of things. But it's about our birth, new life, right? And you drink from Zamzam because all life comes from water. All this is associated, right? But anyway, so we have 33 in a triangle. Now, even if you don't, my brother, do 3 times 3, try means 3. So you got a 3, a 3, and you have a symbol of 3. A triangle, right? So that still brings you to 9. Right? And we know how important 9 is, right? So they went through 9 archways, right? To get somewhere. And they found the delta, right? And the cube, right? Now, for unity's sake, and you say I'm going off the top, let this spirit move. All right? We're talking unity. Now, it is there in the Royal Arch at the rebuilding of Solomon's Temple, where Hiram Abiff he had a stone, a unique kind of stone, a different kind of stone. Wasn't oblong, it wasn't square. It was so strange that the overseer said, let me put my tri-square up to see what's happening. But before that, the other 2 fellas came through, right? They had said, we're craftsmen from the quarry, we work for inspection. Right? And they bought it, and he put his tri-square to it, right, Brother Ollie? And he said, good work. Square work. True work. Proven work. Try, tested, and proven. Yes. Moving on, right? Right? Then the other guy comes up. Now here's a square. He has an oblong, right? Good work. Square work. True work. Proven work. All of that, right? Move on. Now here comes a third guy. And he has what we know as a keystone, Pennsylvania, Keystone State, right? And his looks different. And so they applied that scarcity. The knowledge that I have, man, I can't see what this is, man. And they move it to the next guy, same thing. They said, but it looks so nice with those markings on it. How the widow's son sent to King Solomon. I mean, it looks so nice. Let's have consultation, right? And they came to the conclusion, we have no use for this. And they leave it open. Now, we always connect ourselves. So now, as they go on to complete the temple, right? In order to complete the temple, they had everything together. Now it's almost done. Almost done. We're right there, bro. They're like, what the hell is it? What the hell is this, man? What?
Go back to the road.
That's why they do high on the trucks, you know. Talking about this. You black people. But to complete this temple in America, you got to come back to that rejected stone.
Come on,
You see what politicians doing, man?
Come on.
Roast stone.
Come on.
Where that stone at, man? I'm going down to Detroit, man.
That's right there now. That's where you at now.
Right.
That's where you at now.
So, real quick, moving along, is this here. So, you know the story. They go back, and they did it. And that keystone is different because it unites the arch, right? The arch. It sits right in there. Now, for unity's sake, as I'm jumping around, you have the 3 Abrahamic faiths.
Right.
Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
Yes,
Abrahamic faith. And Abraham is recognized by Judaism, the Christians and the Muslims as the great patriarch and the father of the faith. Right. And doing Hajj in commemoration of him, we make that sacrifice, like he was willing to sacrifice his son. But God said, hold up, go and get that sheep over there, that ram. And you sacrifice that sheep. So during Hajj, we do that in commemoration of Abraham, right? So anyway, for unity, you know, when you look at that arch, and you know that history, and I'll tell you in the Holy Quran, Moses and the story of Moses is mentioned more than anybody else, even more than Muhammad the Prophet. So in Islam, we recognize and have to accept all of the prophets. Make no distinction.
Right.
And if you read Quran, it's going to talk about Judaism in a positive way, not what they say. And about Jesus. And it says that, and we have to believe, there's a whole chapter 19 called Miriam, where it talks about the birth of Jesus, the immaculate birth. Muslims have to believe in Jesus. Right? So when you read Islam, you'll see something of Judaism and Christianity. So now today, in the world today, Islam is that rejected keystone. Come on. They're rejecting it. You see what he's saying? They're all Muslim. Can't come in. We don't need you. But for us, here's that keystone. Right. And what it does, if you take Islam and put it in the middle, you got Judaism on here, Christianity on there, and you put that keystone there, it unites the arms, right? Come on. All right now. So in order for us to move forward, we have to unite. That's right. I have to see the good in Judaism, which I'm taught in the Quran. Make no doubt about that. As a Muslim. I come from Christian parents. Come on. Like most of us. I have to love and respect my Christian brothers. But when you know anything about Islam, you will see that there's a connection between Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. But right now, it's being rejected. Thrown in the rubbish, right? You hear that man talk? Yes. But in order to get where you really got to go, come on, buddy, man. You're going to have to come in there and say, Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir. Y'all looked a little strange to us. I grew up on pork, man. I don't know where you came from. Hot balls and chips. On Thanksgiving, my mother making that ham with pineapple on it, man. What are you talking about, man? Y'all some strange jokers, man. Them ham hocks, man, and chitlins and whatnot, man. That's some strange jokers, man. Get up out of here, man. My parents kicked me out the house. They said, get me out of that house. When I first embraced, right? So that's what they doing now, man. What's with them guys, man? But when you really want to get it together as a man supposed to be for everybody, you're going to have to come back to the rubbish.
Yes, sir.
And I'm saying to you all, that's what this is about. That Islam is that keystone, and we all use there to complete the temple of Solomon in the second book. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, so we want to connect ourselves because we are one. Now, since now in Islam there's 9, right? Right. Roll Arch is 9, right? You gotta have nine members at least, right? Officially, I believe that, right? So we got that, right? Now, we here, there's here, I went to Hajj and then I went to Egypt. They have the Sphinx, they have the pyramids, right? Now, there's a river. Where you going to try to think? Before you can go into Egypt, now we're looking at the mythology, right? The wisdom of the ancient wise. And they said, in order to get in Egypt, you got to break that riddle, man. You ain't just walking in it. And the riddle said, what? They say, now if you tried it, and you were unsuccessful, you was done. You were going to be consumed. And the Sphinx as the body of a lion, right? Right. And the head of a man. Right. Some other things, right? And when you go there, I think Napoleon them blew off his nose and his lips so you wouldn't know he was black. You know what I'm saying? Pissed off about what we've been doing as people, as master builders, and whatever that was about. And some say they distorted those figures, right?
That's right.
But anyway, that Sphinx had the body of a lion and the head of a man, meaning a couple of things. That man rises above his animal instincts. He's ascending above his animal instincts. Right? Now and coming in the East, you have to understand that, man. Not just physically entering, but to make progress, you got to rise above your animal instincts. So his head is rising above them. The other thing is he's a G-man, government man. Because a lion is the king of the jungle, right? He represents government, right? So that head there saying that he's standing upon the government. That I'm not making this rule for you to come in. It's the rule of the government. You can't just walk in here. And you know that when you travel, right? And you go through customs, man, you got to answer some questions, right? So, real quick, brother. So the riddle said, what creature walks on four? Right? Come on. I might as well connect it up while I'm here. Go ahead. Yeah, the 4 points of entry. Prudence, temperance, justice. 4 basic elements. Fire, water, air, and earth. And I won't say it, but the tetragrammaton. You know that. Tetra is 4. Right? In Islam, in the Quran, Allah says there's 12 months, 4 of which are sacred. Okay? And when you start the prayer, the call is made the adhan. In the Muezzin, the prayer caller says, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 4 times. Right? And we turn towards not a triangular building, we turn towards a square building. The Kaaba has 4 sides, right? 4 sides, right? You start to say about 4, but the riddle of the Sphinx said, what creature walks on 4? Like that chair you're sitting in. It's immovable. It's fixed. Square is fixed. Not like a circle that moves, right? That's immovable, fixed. Right. And then say, okay. And then on 2. Huh? Got that balance, that symmetry, right? Equilibrium, right? To walk on 2, right? Walk on 2. Then, my brother right there with that cane. You too. They say, and then on 3. You know, and it's just all those guys here, and I don't want to go around, but you know, 2 Buchanan, man. That's 3, right? Cheese brothers. That's us brothers, man. You know, but I'm going to do 3. Talking about Islam. Anyway, and say, so the answer is what? Man, know yourself.
Yeah.
Know yourself, your growth and your development. But here's where we go now. The mystery of your birth. Because 4, 2, and 3 equals 9. I didn't do it. You see, we're back to 9. 4 plus 2 plus 3 equals 9.
Yes.
Know your birth. Know this mystery of your birth. Now, you come into Egypt. Now you're allowed to come in. Now make a quick connection with America. If you pull out that dollar bill, pull it out, the symbol of America is that ball eagle. And when you look at it, he ain't looking away from the pyramid. He's looking at the pyramid. He's looking at Egypt, right? And I said, I be doggone. Now why the heck is there a symbol from Northeast Africa on a dollar bill? From Africa, where we come from. I didn't put it there. You didn't put it there. Jomo Kenyatta didn't put it there. So why is it there? So when you see that eagle, America, you have the eagle looking at the pyramid.
Yes, sir.
No accident, right? Letting you know now that when we was forming this thing,
Come on.
we looked at the ancient wise of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
Like the Greeks, Pythagoras and them went in, right? In the mystery system, right? The Osirian mystery system, the Isis mystery system, right? But they're great learning, right?
Right.
So America, they looked there, and here's simple. According to the scriptures, Egypt had slaves.
Right.
The children of Israel was enslaved in Egypt. Didn't America have slaves? Egypt was the highly advanced. People traveled, the Greeks and others, from all over to learn in Egypt, right?
Yes, sir.
Architecture, geometry, psychology, algebra, you name it, right? The master builders, right?
Yes, sir.
So America looked that way. Now let's break this down. When you look at that eagle, you see the head looking that way, right? And the words are coming out of the head, right? In pluribus unum, from many one. Now, then you get the shield, the chest. And there you have the two wings. And then you go down to the tail. And how many feathers? No. Look at the bottom. 9 feathers at the tail. Back to 9. So what is that telling us? That's the 3 branches of government.
That's right.
See, the head is the executive branch. The president. That's why the words in pluribus unum is in his mouth.
Right.
Because the president speaks for the country.
Right.
That's the executive branch, right? The shield is the legislative branch, the Congress. That consists of 2 wings, right? The House of Representatives and the Senate. Now when you come down to the 9 fellas at the bottom, come on, brother, am I right? That represents the 9 judges. Now they need to change that move down there, and they need to change the head because you had Clarence Thomas, you got a black one, so they got to put one of the feathers black. And for now, they can change the head. Now what in there after that, you go and paint it back white. But for now, you know, I mean, come on, man. Everybody enjoying themselves?
Yes.
This is how you can enjoy and appreciate knowledge. You don't have to be uptight about the beauty of knowledge that God gives us. You know? So, now you got the 3 branches of God.
Right.
So they're looking at Egypt. And you know, now we can go to the 13. Those were the original colonies, right? 13 stars above his head, right? 13 barracks, right? 13 arrows, count, right? And on that shield there's 13 stripes. And in the word in pluribus unum, there's 13 letters. And it's in a circle.
That's right.
In a circle now. You know what it is. Now it's looking at Egypt. Now let's watch this. What creature walks on 4? You know, Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was a Shriner, Mason, he came up with what's called the 4 Freedom Awards. So to get into America, it ain't just physical. The 4 Freedom Awards is getting in and knowing how to make progress in Egypt, just like in America. So he had the 4 Freedom Awards, which is what? Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from fear, and freedom from poverty, from want. Those, look them up. The 4 Freedom Awards. Or again, the 4 points of entry. So you gotta get it, right? Always connected to yourself, right? And then the creature walked on what? On 2. And they say, no, there must be a separation of church and state. You got to do a 501(c), right? 50 whatever, tax exempt status, right? There's only certain things you can't do politically. You got to keep church and state apart, right? You got to know that in order to enter America and make progress, right? You have to know how the government works. That's how that works, right? And then it says on 3, right? Now the answer was man, meaning we start crawling on 4. We stand up Homo erectus, Qiyam in Arabic, called Qiyam, right? Homo erectus, perpendicular, and you walk, right? And then when you get a little older, a little background like Moses, and like my good brother here, it ain't about background, it's just about that wisdom, right? But Moses had a cane, right? So that third leg is that cane. And that's what they say, right? 2 volcanoes, 2 balls, and a cane. But I'll just say 2 legs. So now, that's it. 4, 2, and 3 to get in America. That's from each. But when you add those up, that's 9. That's 9, right? So now we're back at 9. You got that, right? Now it's looking at the pyramid. We'll stay there for a little while. A pyramid at its base is 4. That's the uniqueness of it. At the base is a square, a perfect square. 4 corners of 90 degrees. Right? You got 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 in that square. Then it comes up looking like a triangle. So I'm just going to say this and then say what it is now. If you got 4 in a triangle, that's 7, right? You got 4 and 3, but we're not going to go on to the 7 right now. We're going to stay with 9. So if you got a square at the base, then that's 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, right, brother? Right. 360.
That's right.
Now that triangle come up, and those angles are 60 degrees. Right? I think in an equilibrium triangle.
That's right.
3 times 60 is what? 180. 1 plus 8 plus 0 is 9. 360, 3 plus 6 plus 0 is 9. We got the phase on, right? There's a circle down here, and there's a circle up there. And what does that come to? 360 and 360, I think, is 720, right? 7 plus 2 is 9.
Yes, sir.
He gave me a signal because we're at 9 o'clock. You know, we have fun with that. So, if you give me 2 minutes, just wanted to, okay, we wrap it up because we're doing this connection, right? The Kaaba, well, in your order, you know you have the compass and the square, right? And when it starts out, because this is about growth, right? The G, you know, great architect of the universe, geometry, Dome of the bar, whatever, right? But it's growth. Because the compass, when you start, is under the square. Right. See, the square is fixed, right? Can't move. The compass is moved. You make circles with that, right? You can change the degree. So now, that's suppressed. Right. But now as you make progress, one part of it is raised up. All right. Then by the time you get to the 3rd level, both. So the compass is over the square. Yes, sir. Right? So that's growth. Now, for us, looking at the Kaaba, it's a square in a circle. Right? Now we watch boxing, right? Watch this. You got men, no, watch this, fighting in a box, in a square. But what do they say? They're in the middle of the ring. I said, I shot my kid that square was those 4 corners of the square. Now they tell me it's a ring, it's a circle. So why are they calling that square a ring? Because that square has 90-degree corner, 1, 92, 3, 4. So that square, it comes to 360 degrees, which is the same degree number of the circumference of a circle. Yes, sir. So it's square in a circle. Yes, sir. So now, facing the Kaaba, that sits in a circle. Yes, sir. It's a cube, right? It's a perfect square, not the simple square, right? So then it has those 4 corners, and we start at the black stone, 360 degrees. and you go make circles around it, which is 360 degrees.
Right.
So that's telling us that the Kaaba really represents 9. Right? 3 plus 60. And the circle, 9. That's perfect. Now, Muhammad the prophet, as we go, he was taken from Mecca, the Kaaba, on his ascension. And he was taken to Jerusalem. That was ruled by Suleiman or Solomon. You make the connection. It's so much, so maybe we can put that. And listen, Salam, temple. Salam alaikum. In Arabic, you have sun letters and moon letters. Understand this. You have 14 sun letters and 14 moon letters. Meaning when you read the Quran, the Arabic, you're really immersing yourself in light. So now the word salam, S is a sun letter. So now when we say assalamu alaikum, the root letters is SLM. Always remember that. So if you look up Muslim, you look under SLM. Salam means peace, right?
Right.
You put the M on it, means a person of peace.
Right.
Salam. Islam makes it a religion of peace. Listen, Solomon, Suleiman makes him a king of peace.
Right.
Jerusalem is a city of peace. Right? We got it. So now Muhammad the prophet, as we close, he leaves Mecca. And he goes, Jibril takes him horizontally, not to Medina. He takes him to Jerusalem, in the area where Solomon built the temple. And it is from that place, Suleiman, peaceful place, okay? And he ascends upward, right? And he goes up to the 7th heaven. And on each level, he meets the prophet.
Right.
And on the first level, brothers, they knock on the door, right?
That's right.
Picks him up. Who comes there?
Yes, sir.
He said, it is Gabriel. He said, well, who was with you? He said, it is Muhammad. And listen to the question that the teller at the door asks. He says, has he been sent for? He said, time. He said, he has. And remember, he's coming up from Salam. He's coming up, right? And when they open the gate, who's sitting there? Our father Adam. And he greets him, he says, Assalamu alaikum, my father Adam.
Hello.
And Adam returns the greeting, well, alaikum assalam, O messenger of God, right? And then on each level is the same thing, because of time. It goes up, the second level, he meets Jesus and John. Okay? So we got Adam, Jesus, John, then he meets Joseph, then he meets Enoch, or Idris, then he meets Aaron, then he meets Moses. Then on the last level, he meets Abraham. He said, Assalamu alaikum, ya Abu, my father Abraham. So my point is, he meets 8 men going up, making him the 9th man in the heaven, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you only on the ascension, you got 9, he comes up, and he meets 8 men, making himself the 9th man. Amen. And it says that Jesus gave up the ghost in the 9th hour. And that's the connection. He gave up the ghost in the 9th hour. Muhammad the prophet received the revelation in the 9th month as the 9th man. So sharing what we tried to share, the most important thing is seeing our connections, seeing that we are all together, and it's all about that new birth, that 9, and all that that means. I pray that I've been able to say something that benefits us, and he has given me, yes.
No, I'm just sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no, that's okay. He's giving me a signal. But this is what you do, brother. Read the Quran, because that dollar bill, I went as far as I could with time as question and answer. It has nothing but spider webs on it. When you look at that spider web. And I think I saw a fellow when I come in there, he had a spider on his fellow. To myself, I said, when how you got that spider? I said, oh, he probably was in the rubbish. So chapter 29 of the Holy Quran is entitled The Spider. And you know the beehive, right? Industry. Chapter 16 of the Holy Quran is called the bee. So those are the connections, some of the connections that God willing you will see. I hope I didn't go on too long. I greet you again, my brothers. Assalamu alaikum.